Now here is your video.
Welcome back, bros, to another Transformer video review. And today I have the opportunity to take a look at an Amazon exclusive that came right off the Amazon truck today. And I had to get it to you out as fast as possible so we can see how really cool Carnivac is, and Fisitron, which is AKA Iron Fist, the Wrecker. This is a part of the Wreck and Doom collection, which are Amazon exclusives. So for the contents inside of this packaging, we get 2 deluxe size figures, and they come with a total of 5 accessories. As you see the accessories laid out before you in front of each character, and then standard to all Transformer figures. Inside packaging for brand new figures, you get the instruction manual. So all right, bros, checking out the details on these 2 figures. I don't want to give you a complete broad history lesson, but I'm just going to say it right off the bat. Carnivac in this 2-pack correlates to the Pretender series, and he is a pretender who kind of reminds me of that detritus figure that we got in the Transformers Legacy line, where that characteristic is more like he takes whoever's side that benefits him, so he can't be trusted, so you don't know what his motive is because he has his own when he talks or aligns himself with those groups. Now turning our attention to Fisitron, which is basically Iron Fist. As we all know, he is a member of the Wreckers eventually. He looks up to Impactor. They did make a G1 toy of him, but the G1 toy did not look like this. So from what I'm looking and reading, he's more of the comic book version. But anyway, just looking at the details, guys, both of these figures are pretty much molded in their basic plastic colors. For instance, Carnivac is mainly molded in the purple plastic, and then it has some teal bits, and then some, I guess you could say golden color brown bits. But either way, the only really new thing that we get for that figure is going to be the head sculpt. The head sculpt on that figure is a brand new headmaster, and it looks good. I think they did a terrific job with that head sculpt. Now, turning our attention back to Iron Fist, or Fisitron, here we have the detritus mode, or the Hound mode, in other words, the Legacy Hound 5-pack mode. This figure, like I said, it was a terrific mode when it came out. The difference that this figure has that the previous figures that were used, it has different accessories and also a different armored vehicle appearance. So instead of it being a Jeep, it's more like an armored tank or something like that. But anyway, as you know, guys, so these are the details on the figure. It's pretty much made out of the plastic. Fisitron has a little bit more metallic, so he's made out of the dark blue plastic, the gold plastic, yellow painted in the abdomen and crotch region, and then you just got a little bit of the gold bit painted for the engine in front of the vehicle. Other than that, guys, let's keep the video moving because I know it's 2 figures and I don't want to make it too lengthy anyway. So for the articulation on these figures, guys, if you haven't seen any of my previous reviews, it is standard to what we get with all deluxe figures. So I will show it briefly. There is a waist swivel on Carnivac. It can hold his weapon 90 degrees, and that is a flaw, and we'll talk about that later. So that's as high as it goes for the bend in the elbow. It rotates all the way around. It's not hindered. So yes, as you are aware, because this is the same figure as what we got in the past, the head doesn't, it rotates left and right. As you see on my copy, there's nothing really keeping it in. It could be mold degradation. This is an older figure or older mold. So the leg can kick up this high. There is, I guess you could say, a little bit of rock right here because it's on a ball joint. Because of transformation, you know, you can get extended poses to make it seem like he's doing other stuff. the knee does bend a little bit more than 90, and that's due to transformation and because he is a animal. So because he's a feline, he's given a lot more articulation for that. Other than that, there is no wrist swivel, but if you really call it articulation, it's a hinge right here. You can hinge it up or you can hinge it down. Other than that, that's all we get for this figure. And turn our attention to this one, which is the detritus and hound mode. So for those that didn't get hound but got detritus, you know what you're getting into. The foot can rock in and out, as you see right there. It does bend 90 degrees. He does have a waist swivel, as you can see. The arm bends 90 also. The head can rotate left and right. I like this head better. There is no upper look, but you can look down very low, but not up at all. So you get the basic articulation for what you get for these deluxe characters. And let's keep it moving and start bringing out some figures for comparisons. So to start the comparison segment, I want to start with these two figures on the outside for comparing with the ones on the inside. Now, I know you are probably a little disappointed. It's because I don't have Weird Wolf out with Carnivac. With that being said, I do have the figure. I have 2 copies of the figure. They're not open and they are placed somewhere in storage. I don't know where they're at. I haven't had a chance to go through. So I took the next best thing. I have a Titans Return Headmaster. Here we have Misfire. Now, they have the same gimmick with the Headmaster. The weapons don't combine as you see with Misfire, but as you see, it is the same height. So technically, it is the same mold, and therefore you know what you're getting if you have previous figures from the Titans Return line, where they came out with all those Headmasters for that series. So it's definitely in line with that. So if you had something like that, guys, you know what you're getting with Carnivac. Now, turning your attention to Fisitron. Now, Fisitron right here is the same as you see as the Tritus. It's the exact same figure, except Fisitron has some more added pieces. And as you see, the weapons and accessories are different between the 2 figures. So that's what I want to show you right off the bat. And let's go ahead and move on to my next point, where we're going to bring in some more recent figures from Studio Series and Legacy and other stuff that you may already have in your collection. And lastly, for comparisons, here we have some of the newer figures. As you can see, we have Leader Class Springer 86, the movie, right here behind Fisitron. And then you have Legacy Point Blank, just to show a larger size deluxe compared to that figure. And then on the Decepticon side, here we've added some Studio Series Constructicons behind and beside Carnivac. So as you see right here, they do scale with the current scaling, what they've been doing lately, and they look good together. So okay, bros, I thought about doing the transformation in this video, but what I'm gonna do is make that a separate video, guys, because these are figures that we already own that have the same transformation steps as previous figures that have been released a couple years ago, or maybe 4 or 5 years ago. But anyway, guys, let's keep the review moving, and next you will see these 2 figures in their alt modes. So now that we have these 2 figures in their alt mode, this is what we get. We get Carnivac right here. Let's go ahead and move him a little bit to the side. And this nice purple with the teal and the gold. Gold is brown like we talked about. He's got a little white right here by the face. Other than that, he has that symbol, which we're seeing on a lot of the Amazon exclusives for this series. It looks good. Like I said, guys, it is a reuse of that Weird Wolf Headmaster mold from Titans Return. So that's what we get right here for his alt mode. Now, turn our attention to the more figure that is more sought after. I guess you could say here we have this Iron Fist, or what's his name? Fisitron. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I want to say something else like Iron Fist or something more than Fisitron. But anyway, he looks good. He is the same exact vehicle that we got with the Tritus and Hound, except that there's an extra little bit, guys. I'm sorry I didn't do transformation, but it's in another video. Check it out. I posted those links right there in this video so you can do that and go straight to it. This is the only piece that's different from Hound and Detritus, except for the accessories. But yes, this looks good. I like this armored vehicle. It's definitely realistic. It compresses nicely, guys. The arms don't scrape on the ground. As you see, it rolls very well. And the wheels definitely move when you move it across the floor. So here we are starting the same comparison that I started with the alt robot modes. As you can see, here we are in alt mode. These are repaints, as I stated earlier, so you know what you get with repaints, the same modes that we've got previously in the past. Now that that's out the way, let me show the comparisons and why I brought these figures out. So let's move these two out the way just briefly for a few minutes, and let's look at these two. Here we have, like I said, Carnivac and Misfire. These are the Titan Return gimmick figures. So with the Titan Returns, yes, you can store your headmasters. They have alt mode storage right there. So this is the one you'll see right here. And this, for Carnivac, you just lift up this little flap right here. I don't have a lot of fingernails, and it folds up. And therefore, you can sit your headmaster right there. There's a couple grooves that kind of lock it in from wiggling or whatever. Close it back up, and now you have your headmaster stored in its alt mode, so you don't have to worry about losing it if you end up playing with the figure or forgetting to put it away during transformation. So yes, those are good gimmicks right there for the headmasters, and I like it. And that's what makes the toy enjoyable, because now you have alt mode storage for the headmasters. So let's move these out the way. And let's bring back out Detritus and Fisitron. So here we have Detritus and Fisitron, as you see right here. There are a lot of similarities, as I stated, in robot mode, definitely in alt mode. As you can see, Fisitron has just this hatch right here for the top and also the back. And of course, different weapon accessories, which makes the whole look different than this. As you see with Detritus, they're pretty much the same front end, nothing different like that. The sides are exactly the same and has the same transformation sequence. The backs are the same also. The only difference is the top. Like I said, in transformation, this just accordions in, it folds into that part, and then that becomes this backpack, and this you can keep on too. So other than that, guys, they both roll very well. They both have locking pegs right there that you lock them into where the arms so they don't drag. Other than that, these are very good figures for this mold. So it's really good, guys. I really can't complain. I don't have nothing bad to say about it. So just putting all of them back out here so you can see what we're working with. So here we have all the figures that we started out with. So yes, hopefully this is a good comparison picture for you for that. But let me go ahead and do one more thing before we move on. Let's go ahead and bring out a recently new release figure. So here we have Bulldozer right here. I'm sorry, Bone Crusher right here. And you just see how he compares as a deluxe. You know, the vehicle mode is definitely smaller. I don't have an issue with this right here. If you want to say the spaceship mode, I guess you could say that's pretty much accurate, but that's just the last little tidbit of comparison I wanted to show you with, you know, new figures that we may already have in our collection, so you can see how well it scales in its vehicle slash animal mode. So in conclusion, guys, just to wrap this video review up, I'm going to give you my final thoughts. And then final thoughts on this figure. Yes, this is a Amazon exclusive, guys. I do think it is a very good 2-pack. Now, yes, it is repaints, as you would say, but with Fisitron, you actually get more. So I guess you could say it's a new figure because it has new molded parts added onto it with new accessories, or basically weapons. Now, when it comes to Carnivac, that is a straight repaint, guys. Nothing is different with that figure at all. So yes, it does suffer from mold degradation. Now, the reason why I say that, because on my copy, as you saw when I was doing the articulation, the head just came out. There's nothing to tighten up the head. You can try to maybe do some floor polish in the headmaster cavity. You can try that, but I wouldn't put it on the head. Now, if you put it on the head, there's a chance you might get a glob of floor polish or fingernail clear polish, whatever, to mess up that, and you'll lose that feature because it'll be too thick and it won't securely in. With that being said, some of the limbs, when you hide the robot hands in the forearms, my pieces fly off as gently and gingerly as I try to pry them open. They definitely fly off flying. So some of the waist on Carnivac sometimes comes off also. So yes, it does have his flaws for that figure, but turn our attention back to Fisitron. Fisitron, I have not had any issue with this figure. Yes, the legs might be a little bit looser in transformation when forming the lower legs of the figure, but other than that, everything is pretty much solid. It is a cool and fun figure, a brand new character with new accessories, as you can see right here. You can have tons of fun with these characters with the blast effects that have come with previous figures that we may already have in our collection. So sorry about getting tongue-tied right there. So ultimately, guys, yes, it is a pickup. So if you're interested in picking it up, definitely head on over to Amazon.com, where this is their exclusive, and it is shipping right now. Ultimately, I end up paying the price of 2 deluxe size figures. So that's correct. From what I remember, it was $49.99 plus taxes. So yes, with that being said, guys, thank you for taking your time to watch my video review. I appreciate having you. So as always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. By doing these 4 actions, it shows my channel a tremendous amount of support. And not only that, positive feedback as a YouTube content creator. And thank you once again for spending your time watching my video. Until next time, I'll see you soon.